Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. Before I get started with this video, I wanted to mention that the response to the last two videos has been pretty good. The video on where I colored Kitty's hair and the last video, which was the one on skin tone, both of those have gotten pretty good responses, and I got a lot of good feedback and comments all across social media on those. So I hope to be doing more of these videos where I'm actually talking about the stuff that I'm doing and doing some stuff in real time. So if there's any topics anybody wants covered specifically, please let me know. Reach out to me in the comments below, and just say what you'd like me to cover. As always, it helps. We've picked up a few new subscribers with the last couple of videos, so please, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and click like whenever possible if you enjoy the video, and also hit that bell to be notified about future videos. I really appreciate it, and just uh, helps keep this going. Okay, now I mentioned the last two videos, and in those I worked on this sketch card of my character, Kitty Ravencraft. In the first video that I mentioned, I worked on the hair texture, and in the last video we worked on the skin tones. Now the card's been sitting for a couple of days now, so the markers have had plenty of time to dry. If you'll notice, the colors can dry a little bit light. Yeah, and that's true with any sort of wet media, that once it dries, the color becomes a little bit diluted. So at this point, I may want to punch up a couple of things. So I might get out my flesh tone. This is the basic Copic flesh tone, and the blush. And just in case I'll need it, I've got the 00 flesh tone. So and I'm not going to really do a whole lot of coloring here. I'm just going to do a little bit of punch ups on some of these little accent areas, like just heat up her cheeks a little bit, the dimple, the tip of her nose a little bit, maybe bring out her chin a little bit more. And then just to really warm it up, I'm going to go in with the pink. Just in a couple of, on the shoulder here, maybe in the ear too, side of the nose a little bit. And then what I want to do is break out the 00. As I said in my last video, the 00 is almost like my blender. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to hit up some other areas too. Okay, and that should be good. Always know when to walk away. Sometimes you can fiddle with something to death, and you overdo it and you kill your highlights. So know when you're done. So and I think this one is just about done. Since I last worked on this one, I did tighten up the hair a little bit. I just went in with my dark red in some of these areas around here, and I just combed out her hair a little bit, just tightening it up a little bit more, and that's about it. Looking at this, I do want to do a little something with the background, and that brings me to a topic I may expand upon in a future video. And for that background, I'm going to break out my chart pack marker. Okay, this is in addition to the Copics, I like to use chart packs a lot. And chart pack it's another professional grade marker. Now this one differs from the Copic in that there's only one tip to it. There aren't two. You just get this nice big chunky beveled tip, so you can do a little bit of fine work, but you could also do a lot of thick strokes with it too. Now, a lot of people are not big fans of the chart packs. One of the drawbacks to the chart packs is that it bleeds. It can bleed. And a lot of people don't like that, obviously. I find, though, that with the bleeding, you can get used to it. You could even control it. And if you get to know the marker, you can minimize the issue the bleeding becomes. And also, too, the positive side of the bleeding is that the bleeding helps the color to blend, and it helps really minimize streaking. So if you've got like a large area that you want to color, the chart pack is a nice way to go. The chart pack markers will cover that nice big area. Now here, what I'm going to use it for is this negative space, these blank areas around Kitty, just to really finish off the card. Now generally I like to work from top to bottom, so I'm going to go up here, and I don't want to bring it up to the hair, because like I said, this bleeds, so it's almost like it'll flow up to the hair anyway. So I'm just bringing it just short of the hair. Okay. And after it's settled, after the thread of bleeding is done, then I could always go back in and just touch it up with the fine point and take care of any unintended white areas. Now, I generally want to work from top to bottom, and that just helps the streaking also to be minimized. Not that streaking is a big problem with this, but this is how we avoid it. Getting a little dangerously close to her skin tone, so I want to avoid that. If there is any unintended bleeding, I could always punch up her outline with my ink, my black, and hide any unintended sins. Just want to touch up some of this white that I left behind. Some of that I might just leave and touch up later. This is a little tight in here. And this color that I'm using, by the way, is Space Blue, which is kind of a nice little dark blue. Believe it or not, I use this to color in Jughead's sweatshirt a lot. Now I've got a little bit of streakiness happening here that I just want to iron out. And it's a nice big space, so I could go in with the fat end of the marker and just smooth that out. You got to be careful, because sometimes this is such a malleable marker. When you lay down the color, I've left fingerprints in the areas that I've colored, just because the color just picks up my print. So I want to be careful how I'm handling the card, which isn't an ideal case because I'm trying to work around the camera. Okay, so you could see, hopefully you could see, it's a nice even application of that blue. The other thing with the chart packs, in addition to the bleeding, they do bleed through a good deal. So, on the sketch card, this is nice solid Bristol, so it's okay. Take care of that little spot on her ear. There we go. Just leave that alone. But if you were working on any paper and a pad, you either want to work on a nice heavy Bristol stock, or you want to work with some sort of scrap paper. And even if you are using Bristol, I recommend using a piece of scrap paper underneath, because you don't want to ruin an entire pad or any other surface you happen to be working on. So that's it for this card. I would call this one done. Actually, it's not done. I'm forgetting the most important part of any job, and that is my signature. Now it's done. Okay, folks, thanks for hanging out with this video and really watching this card come together from almost from the beginning, but certainly to the end. And now it's really done. I would let this dry, let the blue settle, see if the blue does drift, as it sometimes will, but it looks like I'm okay. It looks like the blue is not going to invade the red or her skin, which would be horrible. What I would do now, or once I'm pretty sure that it's dried, is I would place it inside one of these little top loaders. And you could get these at like any sort of hobby shop. They're made, mostly you see these for either sports cards, baseball cards, or sometimes like those game cards like Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. But I like to use them for my sketch cards. Here's another sketch card that I did. And actually I did a time-lapse video for this one. So you could actually go into my videos and you could see this one being colored at a sped up rate. But this is how I usually display my cards at conventions. The case makes it seem like a little bit more of a solid item. And people seem to like it. They seem to appreciate it, and it protects it. Wolverine here, by the way, he is just about all Copics. I think he is all Copics. So soon, Kitty here will be joining him at a convention near you. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one too. Please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, please post those in the comments as well. Okay? See you in the next video. Thanks a lot, everybody.